In today's video, how to know what the judges are looking for.
All by myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com. In today's video, I want to address the question of how to know what the judges are looking for within your organization or within the competitions that you plan to do. Some strategies on how to figure out what they're looking for, and then potentially some strategies on how to adjust to make sure that you are improving in a way that will be rewarded in your category that you want to build for. And so the first thing I want to address is not getting feedback from judges, or perhaps not getting the feedback that you want. I know a lot of us, when we compete, what we do is we stick around after the show, hope to speak to the judges. And if that doesn't go so well, we send an email to the judges. And if you're gonna do this, I would really suggest you have some high quality images to send them, and give them as much input as you can, because I have judged before, and it's very tough. I know the day of the show they write down a lot of notes, but the longer you go from the show, the less it's going to be. And for some of these judges, now if we're talking about the judges that judge on the national level within the NPC, they're probably some of the hardest working people in the fitness industry. They are at every show, every single weekend. I mean, I can't even imagine how many shows they work a year. So you're talking about seeing thousands of people per year. Some of them do a very good job. Some of them actually make really good eye contact when you're on stage. I'm not going to say any names, but I've noticed. And take notes, and when they get an email about feedback, they get very specific information about them. But you can't always rely on it. So I'm going to give you a little bit more practical approach on how to know what the judges are looking for and how to improve. The first thing I want to say about feedback that you might get from a judge is they feel like they have to give you feedback. Remember that. So if you say, hey, I'm looking for feedback, they're going to give you some feedback. And if they don't really know what to say, in my opinion, they're just going to give you some kind of random information, okay? And you might take it to heart, but they might have just said it in a passing manner, okay? So don't ever take judges' feedback too much to heart. This should be about you and your journey and things that you enjoy. And so as a coach, what I do when I want to get feedback to my clients or for myself is I like to compare pictures, I like to go to competitions, and I like to just be involved in the sport. The best way for me to give feedback to a client about what they need to do is being at the shows. Last year, I went to more competitions with my clients than I have ever been to. I think last year I went to more shows than the last 3 or 4 years before that combined, right? And this year it's going to be more of the same. I mean, starting in June, I'm going to every national show for the NPC. I was just at a big NPC show down here. I'll go to some of the bigger natural bodybuilding shows with clients this year. So it's about being a part of it, seeing on stage what is rewarded. And I think sometimes we can get caught up in banter on the internet of, oh, this show likes this type of thing, and this show likes conditioning, and this show likes size. And the first thing I want to say about this is just don't worry about that. If you haven't been to the show, and if you weren't there when they were doing awards and seeing the people in person, you don't know what they were rewarded. One thing to remember about this sport is it's about who's on stage that day. That's what they reward. So you're going to be compared to the best person on stage that day, whether that's you or someone else. And I've seen it at shows before where there was more people that were a little bit softer and had more muscle, so that was kind of the standard. And the best person wasn't as hard, and they said, oh, well, this show they went for shape. And then I've seen a show where the best competitor also just happened to be the leanest. And so they said, oh, well, at this show they're rewarding being leaner. And so you have to be able to be at the show and understand that oftentimes it's whoever the best competitor is. Now, when it comes to the women's division, and I've looked at your pictures and you have a fantastic physique, the women's divisions probably have the most variation in judging standards. And that's because the sport is still young, okay? The sport is still coming around. And also, with the men, You know you just want to be the biggest, most shredded guy you can be. I think that's a fraud. But when it comes to women, it's a bikini competition, or it's a figure competition. It's not just about who has the most muscle and who is the most shredded, okay? And so sometimes the best figure competitor is not the leanest. Sometimes the best bikini competitor is not the leanest. Sometimes they are, okay? There's other things that we bring to the stage. Our poise, our confidence, our genetic structure has so much to say, where our muscle insertions are. People that are not as lean can look bigger and better because they have better structure, tinier waist, wider shoulder, better muscle insertions, meaning they appear to have better shape, okay? That is something that is going to come down to the day. You have to be at the show to see. And it's also something you can't change. You can't change your genetics. You can't change, and it wastes your time just worrying about it. So my suggestion for every situation is look at the pictures of the people that are winning within the division that you want to compete, and work the best you can towards that within the framework of your own physique, of your own structure. This is how you're going to be happy. I think, early on, I would often be disappointed at the way I looked on stage compared to others. And as I've competed longer, I've learned to enjoy creating kind of the work of art that is our bodies for the stage, because you're not going to change certain things. I can't be not 6'3", okay? I can't get on stage with someone that's 5'7" and look more compact. It's not going to happen. So I just have to enjoy that part of the sport for me for what it is. You will have your own limitations as well. But if you work as hard as you can for the ideal that you're going for, and understand that the work is really where the joy is, the journey is really where the joy is, you will always get there. Go into shows with zero expectations and you'll just be happy with the result that comes. Work to be the world champion, but expect nothing. Expect zero, and you will really have a good time. So yeah, I think the best thing to do, contact the judges, look at the pictures, but most importantly, be at the shows, attend the shows. One thing I really like to do when I compete is attend the show the year before and kind of get a feel for it, what's on stage, how people look, and then understand that's what I need to work for the next year. Really helps me get my mind right. The first show I ever did in 2008 was the show I attended the year before in 2007 and went, oh, I can do this. And then boom, that whole year was locked and focused for that goal. So yeah, hopefully this is a helpful video. It's very important to understand that judges are people too. And while you place a lot of importance on the minor things that they say, they probably say a lot of minor things that are full of shit. And so take it for a grain of salt. If it's not someone that you know or feel like they're putting a lot of effort into the feedback, then keep looking for feedback until you get some that you trust. All right, guys, that's going to be it from me today. It's Monday. I want to remind everyone I have a free ebook out on flexible dieting. So if you know anyone, it's just a basic understanding of flexible dieting, an introduction, and just the reason being I get asked so often, how do we do this? Can I help my friends, my mom, my sister? And so I didn't really have a solution for that. So the team here at Pro Physique put this ebook together, and it's available for free download at profysiquefree.com. I'll try to put it on the screen. I meant to do it yesterday and I forgot. But yeah, you guys have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
By myself.